All right, cool. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Evolve Metric Station. I'm your host, Perry, and today I have the great pleasure speaking with Nikki Lindgren. So she's the founder of 𝐻𝐻𝐿, a female-led performance marketing agency that scales beauty and lifestyle DTC brands with full funnel paid media. Her team reports a 5 to 6 times return on advertising spend on a $7 million in annual beauty spend. And she also got case studies like 350% online revenue growth for skincare brands. She also hosts the 𝐻𝐻𝐿 Knockdown, which is a really cool podcast series. I think currently it's on 32 episode.
You're right.
Yeah, and she brings on a lot of practitioners' lens to what actually drives profitable growth. So welcome to the station, Nikki.
Perry, great. Thanks for having me. This is going to be so fun.
My pleasure. So let's dive right in. Can you give us a quick 1 minute version of like how do you get started in this space?
Yeah. Well, I had the privilege of starting my career in more or less digital marketing. I was at huge home furnishings brands and I was on the inventory side and was able to move into digital for a business that was going to have an e-commerce store for the first time. So it was a very big established company and there was a small team of 5 that was brought in to lead and manage .com. And I got to be one of those people, which is where I was able to move out of inventory management and into marketing efforts. And I've never looked back. I've gone agency side, I've gone in-house a couple of times. And so throughout probably 15 years of just doing that, I felt like I had enough expertise on what agencies need to do a really good job and what the pain points are on the brand side too when working with an agency. And so from that, I formed 𝐻𝐻𝐿 about 6.5 years ago, and we've served over 90 clients now.
Wow, that's a lot of experience there. I bet you found it really fun to move from inventory to marketing side of things.
Oh my God, inventory was way too boring for me. I needed something like, digital changes so quickly. It can change overnight in some cases with huge algorithm changes. So like, I
Yeah.
just felt like I was a little bit more on my toes. I had to be almost like a little anxious all the time, and that can feel really uncomfortable, but sometimes in a good way, where inventory management just kind of felt like we implemented a new tool. We're going to do a different like system for thinking through planning scenarios, but like it really wasn't updating on a regular basis and it felt a little too stagnant for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say too static. It's just like
Yeah,
too plain for you.
exactly.
Yeah, I get that. Sometimes when I'm flying steady and I just want to get something cool and fun to play with. Um, so yeah, let me go straight to the question about the one question that I've got for this episode. So with that fantastic background, I'm pretty sure that you're very familiar with DTC brands and e-commerce brands and founders. So for DTC brands who feel stuck right now, they're either like founder or people who are growing their own DTC brands. What is your favorite strategy or tactic that's working really well right now to break through a growth plateau?
Yeah. I mean, I wish there was like one answer, one size fits all, but I think I would lean into the core competencies of whoever is on the team right now. So if the team does have a founder who likes to be founder forward and share information, be on socials, like just hit that really hard. And then you're needing to spend money even on a platform like TikTok today to spark or boost your assets so that you get more visibility. So if you're really kind of not doing a ton of paid yet, you're probably in your earlier stage, probably still working for 1 million ARR. I would be focused on figuring out how to amplify the reach of everything you're doing organically, including using that reach to build your email list in your owned data. Now, if the founder is not founder forward and doesn't want to be on camera, I would implement a handful of creators to kind of work in partnership with the brand to get the message out for the brand. What we're finding at this moment in time, like Q4 2025, is branded assets are not working as well as user generated assets. So we'd want to kind of continue recommending brands lean into that. But then like you really got to think about when's the right time to be doing all these different initiatives. And like some brands are not really ready to spend money on ads yet because they haven't figured out conversion rate on their website. Some brands are spending very little, but they're like, let's go run ads on like Reddit too. And it's like, well, why? We haven't even scratched the surface on the platforms you're currently running ads in. So I think like there's always that shiny object syndrome that I deal with founders, but I think you really kind of have to like strip away all of the noise and figure out what your core competencies and essence is as a business and really, really lean into it. I think authenticity is everything right now. And it's just a patience game, right? Like if you don't have the patience, it's going to be a really hard situation.
Yeah, yeah. Because when I think about, so basically it's to be more authentic. Because when I think about nowadays, people are starting businesses left and right. A lot of brands are white labeling products, and there are a lot of competition in the market. And what I'm hearing is, it seems like your opinion is it is better for the founder to be facing the audience and be more personal. I think there's an advantage there. Am I getting this correctly? And if the founder, of course, they don't want to show up on camera and be the like almost like a spokesperson for their own company, then it's better to find influencers to get the message out there. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. And I think like the reflection I have overall is the barrier to entry to create a new fashion brand, skincare brand, whatever, like that has become so low because you can drop ship, you can white label, you can just, buy a formulation off of a contract manufacturer. And so now the expensive part has really shifted to getting the brand out there and the visibility. And so that's where we just want to be really mindful of every dollar spent. And it's a really expensive proposition these days to start a new business. So yeah, I would say lean into founder forward as much as possible. It's a heck of a lot cheaper than needing to work with a handful of creators. But if the founder does not want to do it, creators would be the right position to go off of, and then build an army of creators who want to work with you long term. They don't just want a few dollars today in service of an asset. They really want to partner with the brand to be with you for the long haul and get some upside down the road as the business grows.
Got it. So this is for businesses that are currently using their brand as the like the face of the company right now instead of a human. So I think it's more about the human connection. It seems like that basically you find a lot more effective when it comes to driving growth and standing out and connecting with the audience.
Yeah, 100%.
Got it, got it. And when it comes to the companies growing with the founder standing out and speaking in front of the audience, do you recommend a particular platform, or do you recommend doing it organically? Which way do
Yeah.
you prefer? Or is it depending on what the founder is comfortable with or whatever they are already using?
Yeah, I think it really comes back to understanding who your audience is and where they're spending time. So if you're going after younger demographics, TikTok is probably the first place you need to show up. If you're going for like a ton of educational pieces because your product is like first to market and people don't really get what you're doing, something like YouTube could make a lot more sense because that's where people are going to learn more. So I would say instead of like making an asset and blasting it to every place that asset can live, I would think more through what the user journey is like. I just got a tidbit from one of our partners at Target saying that they have a huge user base that uses Pinterest. So for our brands that are in Target and want more awareness that they have product in Target, leaning into Pinterest harder than we would for a brand that doesn't sell at Target is a better strategy. So I think understanding the industry that you're in and where that buyer hangs out is really going to make a difference for the performance. And it's hard to get right? Like, we make mistakes with brands all the time trying to spend money somewhere that ends up not being as profitable as spending it elsewhere. So it's a little bit of trial and error, but as soon as you have statistical significance that something is working or isn't, you have to change courses.
Got it. Got it. Understood. So when it comes to, let's say there's a founder, DTC brand owner who's currently using their brand as the front of their advertising and promotions, and let's say they adopt this methodology and they start to um, speaking in front of the camera and spreading the message as the founder, what would you say would be the biggest challenge that they will face when they implement this philosophy, this methodology?
Yeah. Well, I think even when we think about someone speaking into an ad and like being camera forward, the styles of what is popular at that moment and the trends that are current do continue to evolve and change. So I think just being aware of where we are in space and time at the moment the founder is making something. I think like right now the hook is, get as much out in the first 3 seconds as possible, which is really hard to do. 3 seconds isn't long, but that's the attention span we're working with. So, like, the credibility of you for doing this, like, what's your background to have started and founded this company, a little bit about the problem you were trying to solve and how you uniquely do it. So, I think you just really have to like have that rapid pace and excitement to move the asset forward and the engagement to sustain. I can't tell you how many assets we observe that have like a 3 to 7 second watch time. So it really doesn't matter what you do after, second 7 because no one's making it beyond that. So then a creative team is trying to figure out how to slice and dice a longer asset so that you have a bunch of different first 3 to 7 seconds. So you can figure out what lane works the best. So behind the scenes, you've got to have someone who's good with video editing to kind of cut things different ways for you to share organically or as ads.
Got it. So basically, that's the hook. We need to
Yep,
get the
exactly.
hook
Mhm.
on point. And when we get the hook on point, then we get more engagement and getting more people to view the video. Especially, you're referring
Exactly.
to shorts, reels,
Yeah,
short video format, right? Yeah.
exactly.
So, so
We've
it's sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we've worked with a couple, like, dermatologists and very, like, higher caliber skill set maybe or expertise, and with them, sometimes longer assets work better than shorter. Doesn't mean they've necessarily been watched or viewed to the end, but for whatever reason, that longer form hits harder for their audience. So, again, like, I would probably say test a couple different angles or hooks, test a couple different lengths, because you aren't really going to know what's going to work until you start experimenting.
Mm, got it. Yeah. Yeah. The hook can
Mhm.
be something to be tested. Even whatever happens after the hook remains the same. It's just like how copywriters usually test different versions of the lead, which is like the first
Exactly.
three sentences of a long form sales letter, or even just the headline. Changing that can completely change the results.
Yep.
So I think that's very similar concept here. Okay, so if that's which is that's huge. So looking back, what is something that you know about um, advertising and running ads, paid media that you wish you knew uh, earlier? You wish you knew about it when you get started or when you um, at an earlier stage doing this?
Hmm. Yeah, I think it's a tricky one to answer just because the things I know now, are kind of symptoms of the changes in the industry, right? So there are things that were like complete unknowns a little while ago, like the new iOS update that's happening any day, like is gonna maybe strip some click ID stuff. So like we have to deal with that now. It wasn't a thing we had to deal with previous time frames. So what I think overarching from an overarching perspective, what I wish I would have known before is there are moments in industries like ours that are evolving so quickly where you're just go, go, go. Your client's like, holy cow, the roof is collapsing, like take actions. And you're just like rapid fire doing stuff. And you look back and you're like, oh, the way I did that took me 3 hours. If I had set up a system, it could have maybe taken like 45 minutes. So now let's go back and build the system. Or I think it was a little too reactive. In retrospect, I know that wasn't the best move, but I just felt so anxious because I felt the client's concern. So I think those are the things I wish I could have like trained myself a little bit more on earlier, and then had the space to build the systems to reduce the time involved in things that were like painfully long.
Got it. Yeah, I get that. So it's like slow down to get faster.
Yeah. And it's
Got
hard.
it.
I'm with all of our founders we work with, where I'm just like, as an agency owner too, I'm like, I want my business to grow. So I get there right with them. And I think that's kind of the beauty of having a small boutique company and also working with emerging brands, is like, I offer services, not product, but I really get the pain that the clients feel when things aren't going well.
Mm, yeah, I'm pretty sure that you feel their pain. And because you yourself running an agency, you got to grow your own business while growing someone else's business at the same time.
Yeah.
And dealing with over 90 clients, I'm pretty sure you're very familiar with them. Okay, so yeah, that's great. So I got a last question.
Hmm.
So um, if there are DTC founders who are interested in working with you, where would be the best place for them to reach out to you?
Yeah. We have we're not as active across any social platform. We're not so out there anywhere. Our main job is really to serve the needs of our clients. So you aren't going to find me super active anywhere, unfortunately, at this moment in time. So the best place for someone to go is to look at our website. It's pennock.co. That's pennock.co. And in there, there's a lead form to just kind of get information over to me so I can schedule some time with you. So that would be the best way to do it.
Mm.
Because we are boutique, we don't take that many clients at a time. So we're really just trying to look for brands we feel passionate we can move forward. And that usually gives us room for a couple new brands per quarter.
Got it. Cool. So if you're a DTC founder right now watching this and interested in learning more about Nikki's methodology, being more of a founder-led um, brand and just connect deeper with the audiences and having different creative to test. Well, we got Nikki here, and her website is pennock.co. So reach out to Nikki if you feel like saying hello to Nikki. So
Yes.
there you have it. So thank you, Nikki, for hopping on here, having a chat. There's incredible wisdom here about connecting with the audiences and about advertising and paid media. So
Thank you, Barry.
thank you very much. And until next time, stay profitable and keep growing.